to present Lynne Twist.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah and Scott and everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Great. Well, it's always a joy to join you on Saturday nights. I love that you do this every Saturday night. It's a huge accomplishment. I mean, it's complicated. So many speakers, musicians, the technology, and then putting the word out so that you have hundreds of people in the Zoom room and thousands of people on Facebook. I just need to say how, I know we all are learning about how to build community this way, given that we can't gather physically, but you're doing a really beautiful job. And I've been on your program several times, and I was just present to what it takes, the kind of humility and responsibility and peacefulness, actually, centeredness it takes for you, Deborah, and you, Scott, and all the people that I don't know their names, or maybe I do, but I'm not. I represent. I want you to know that for me, you represent a community of deep, peaceful communication and communion, which is really what this whole evening is about. The music gives you that sense of being in communion, listening to Daniel, listening to Larissa, listening to incredible speakers. Carolyn Mace is one of my all-time favorite people. It's a real gift to be part of this. And the way that you weave it into a tapestry of voices and sounds and feelings, and there's like a vibration coming through the screen. So I just want to start by thanking you. It's just great to be part of it. And I love that you asked me to come back and come back again and come back again. So I'll just say a few things, because so many beautiful things have already been said that I would just underline and highlight. If I had a highlighter and an underliner, I would do that, or italicize them, bold them like you do when you're writing on the screen. I think that here we are having this evening the day after Ruth Bader Ginsburg has left this world, left the world that we inhabit physically. And I think it's so beautiful. First of all, I'm sad that she's gone, but I also think it's so beautiful that she left at sunset on Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the High Holy Days. I'm not Jewish, but I'm aware that her leaving that moment, sunset, on the High Holy Days, which are all about atonement, which is actually at one-ment, is a sign that she is passing a very powerful torch to all of us here. Whether you knew much about her or didn't, you can feel in the enormous accolades and outpouring of love, and people lighting candles in front of courthouses all over the United States right now. People going into deep meditation and prayer, so that the legacy that she created for women and for all people is that mantle, that legacy, that baton is passed, that torch is passed to all of us. And so I just wanted to say that tonight, being here with you, is like me going to the courthouse, which many people have done tonight, to honor her life and to make that statement that we will carry on the work of extending rights to all human beings. And I'm going to include animals and plants and trees and all living things, as she so brilliantly, as an attorney and then a judge and then a Supreme Court icon, did everything that you needed to do what would make everybody have the opportunity to live a healthy and productive life. And that is the foundation of peace. Actually, I heard someone say, and I don't know who to quote on this, but I love this, that peace is not the absence of war. War is the absence of peace. We go to war when we're not peaceful. So where we need to, and we're at war right now in the United States. We're at war with one another. We're at war with our government. We're at war in the streets. We're at war in our hearts and souls. We're troubled. We're scared. There's so many breakdowns. There's so much to handle. There's so many things that are uncertain. And what we need to do to bring to that state of uncertainty is peace, is peace. So I love that this is the theme tonight. I was listening today. I was on another event with the Shift Network, and it was all about women's empowerment. And I was listening to Riane Eisler speak, who was one of the speakers at this event that I was part of. And she talked about, she's always so great. She's just awesome. I love her. But she talked about ending the era of dominance and moving into sacred partnership and collaboration. And that reminds me of the prophecy of the eagle and the condor that says that this time in history, the eagle people, the people who are primarily operating through the mind, will have reached a zenith in our capacity to use the mind. Those of us in the modern world, that's all of us. We will even extend the capacity of the mind with extraordinary tools that would be invented, which is probably a prophecy about the computer. And we will be incredibly sophisticated in our use of the mind, the eagle people, that's the modern world people. And this is a prophecy that's been told for millennia from the Amazon and the Andes. And it's about the 21st century. It's about right now. It's about us. But we will be materially gratified with all kinds of material things available to us, but we will be spiritually impoverished to our peril, and our very survival will be at risk. While the Condor people, and this is the prophecy of the eagle and the Condor people are the indigenous people, the people who live primarily through the wisdom of the heart, not the mind, but the wisdom of the heart, and their full expression as part of the natural world, and live primarily in the spirit world rather than the material world. They will be highly sophisticated, these indigenous people on this planet, in their ways, in their understanding of the natural world, in their wisdom of the heart, in their communion with spirit. They will be highly sophisticated at some sort of a zenith in that world, yet they will be materially impoverished to their peril, and their very survival will be at risk. And this is the time when the eagle people and the condor people will remember that we are each other, and we will fly together in the same skies, and the whole world will come back into balance. But the prophecy also says that the change between the Pachikuri, or the 500 years of dominance and darkness that came in 1492, if you remember that date, they say that was the beginning of the 500 years of dominance and darkness, that right around 1992, the year 2000, we would start to move into the new Pachikuri, or 500 years, which is called the Pachikuri of balance and light. But the transition from dominance and darkness to balance and light, or as Riane would say, from the dominator model to the partnership model, that transition, the indigenous people and elders say, would take 25, 30 years. And during that time, Pachamama, Mother Earth herself, will humble all her creatures so they remember their rightful role in relationship with her, with tsunamis and earthquakes and fires and floods and hurricanes and huge climactic changes. So I say that this is the period of the transition from dominance and darkness to balance and light, from war to peace, from the masculine overarching domination to the feminine that we all have inside of us, from the yang to the yin, and put the bird of humanity in balance so that we fly not just with the male wing, but also with the female wing. And the male wing can relax in all of us, the female wing can extend, and the bird of humanity can soar. And that is the beginning of a peaceful world, a world without war, a world that's peaceful, a world that is absence of conflict. And that's what you're producing tonight. So thank you for making me be part of it. Love to all of you.
Oh. Lynn, thank you so much. I've been a big part of Pachamama for a long time. So every November, seeing you up on stage and the beautiful way that you ask for money and we all get out our pens. But you know what's interesting is last week, our whole show was Indigenous Elders, and Chief Phil talked about the very thing you were just talking about, how now is the time of the union of the condor, quetzal, and eagle. And there's a whole new agreement that's been made amongst Indigenous people that he announced on our show last week. So I just wanted to pull up that flyer that he was all very excited about. And again, it's just one more example of what Lynne's talking about is what you heard Phil talking about last week. You know, we are the ones that are coming together, creating a new world. And so it's very, very exciting. And it's such an honor to have you with us, Lynne. Thank you.
And we shall be called.